it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the podcast where we look at an upcoming event in the stars and numbers to get clarity and be able to just move through the energy with the highest intentions and the best flow as possible. And today we have reached the end of the year forecast, the transition moment. And so this podcast is called Transitions and Transcendence. And what we are going to focus on is the move from the first part of the 2020s, which began with that powerful 500-year event, the stellium with Saturn and Pluto, the Sun and Mercury on January 12th, 2020. And we are now reaching or bridging into the middle 3 years of this decade, 2024, 2025, and 2026. And these will be pivotal because they literally bridge us to the new Earth moment, which will then really take hold in 2027 and beyond. So what does this mean? Well, we get one clue to start off with from the new moons, which signify new beginnings. And since November of 2023, we have started 5 consecutive new moon cycles where the sun and moon are at 20 degrees in their sign. So in Scorpio in November, Sagittarius in December, etc. Now, that means we have 2 in 2023 and 3 to begin in 2024. These are new moons at 20 degrees. 2020 is perfect vision. The sun and moon will be right next to each other in each of those signs, from Scorpio to Pisces. And that literally is a moment for us to see that we are going to see a lot more. We are going to be awakening a lot more. Seeing with clarity, having that perfect vision, means that we are collectively waking up. And in order to awaken, we get information, data, wisdom that transforms us, that transcends us. The truth of what we discover about ourselves, our history, our beliefs, whatever the case may be, is going to show us that, hey, maybe there's a new perspective that I can see the world with. Maybe what I was assuming to be the only way is not actually the only way. Maybe there's so much more for me to discover. So we're becoming all collectively, consciously aware that we are first and foremost eternally unified with Source, with God. And there's no other state that actually exists for us because Spirit, Source, God is in all things. It is all that exists. And so when we look at life that way and see that, that means it's so beyond the beyond, right? It's like the human comprehension of that understanding brings us into galactic timelessness because we can't comprehend it with our mind. So our egos are trying to decipher things, and in doing so, we get caught up in these stories that our ego entices us with to be fearful of something that might be coming up because our mind cannot comprehend timelessness. So our fears then convince us that we are permanently at risk of something, some calamity or illness or death or whatever the case may be, poverty. And so we are constantly steering our life in order to avoid whatever said calamity our ego is trying to steer us away from. And that is no way to live because truly, when you look at the divine, it is all about abundance and the eternal support that is there for you. There is no fear in love. So how do we get to that place? And this is where the 2020 new moons are saying, well, we've got to see things a little bit differently. Because when our ego stirs up all these doubts create uncertainty. The uncertainty makes us feel lost and confused and abandoned. And when we feel that way, we are going to respond to life or react to life in a very different way than when we trust that goodness shall prevail at all times. Because nothing could be further from the truth that we are abandoned. So what this all leads up to in 2024, which is an 8 universal year, and 8 is the number of empowerment and leadership, is where do we come in individually in our own unique way to bypass that trap of feeling that abandonment, that sense of being lost. And that's the first step to that is happening right now. As I'm recording this, we're in the holiday season, and it is actually creating quiet time. The holiday spirit, the new year, no matter where you live in the world, no matter what the weather is all about spending some quiet time. Whether it's with like-minded people, like-hearted people, I should say, or by yourself. Because we're conditioned to just go, go, go and do. And we've been taught that that's the only way or the best way. It's the most valuable way. It carries great value to always be doing something. But then we forget about the sine wave, the ebb and flow, the light and dark, sleeping, resting, and then acting. Meaning we need to incorporate that naturally. That recharge moment is just as important as the action. And being quiet doesn't mean you're not supportive of others or you're not doing your spiritual work or fulfilling your purpose. It's that you're prioritizing putting replenishment on the agenda, on your to-do list, right? Even though it's not doing something, it literally is being, you are making it a priority. So we are now in the season of Capricorn. The sun is in Capricorn. We just had the solstice. And Capricorn is a leadership, career number. It is about standing up for something, fulfilling your destiny, your purpose. And it's also, and very much related to creating boundaries, because in order to fulfill your purpose and stand up and lead, you have to eliminate. You have to say no to things and only say yes to those that actually enhance your life. So those boundaries specifically that you're now setting help to sustain your resonance and maintain your frequency. And this is very important because you don't want to lower your vibrational frequency when you relate to others. This is really the biggest key during times of shift and transcendence and transformation, is to sustain your resonance and then allow others to come to you. Otherwise, you're going to be depleted. And this is why the quiet time is so important. This is truly the art of living. When you maintain that vibrational frequency that you naturally are connected to the divine with, you allow the divine energy to guide you, to flow through you. If you drop into a lower vibration in order to somehow in your mind relate to somebody else, you also limit yourself and your connection to the divine isn't as strong. It's like being half full as opposed to glass fully being overflowing with your energy. You don't want to be depleted in that sense. So if you share your energy at that lower resonance, it doesn't carry the clarity, the 2020 vision. It doesn't carry the sense of complete connection. The unfiltered impact isn't there. It's more filtered in order to fit into some box that you're trying to relate to. So it's very important not to do that, to be quiet or to just speak or write or be in presence with the divine. So never to dilute that, right? So Capricorn is also about security and protection. And here's the thing, when you maintain your vibrational frequency, it actually gives you that protection. Now, it's very important to know that maintaining your resonance does not mean that you're necessarily saying something. It could be just being, not doing. So just being a living example of someone who lives in that frequency. And so when others feel that, they are elevated by the very nature. It's just like listening to beautiful music. You're elevated by the harmony, the peace, the joy of the music. Just by hearing it. You don't have to understand or know why it was written and who's playing the instruments. It's just that you are naturally impacted. And in the same way, human beings resonate. They are instruments of vibration. So to get there, again, quietude, serenity are very, very important to be replenished. And this is a prime time in the year to do that, to turn to your heart quietly every day and invite Source to enter your heart and embrace and comfort you, because Source will. So when you are open to receive, Source will come. And by nurturing yourself, you energize yourself and you fill your heart. And so your heart has plenty to give because you have replenished. And there are many ways to do this while you're in quietude. Getting out into nature, one of the big ones, connecting with friends, laughing, as I said, listening to beautiful music, listening to a channeling or a meditation, deep breathing, playing with your pet, playing with animals, playing with children, reading an inspiring book, many, many ways. And you'll receive little messages, very subtle messages throughout those moments. And you will more and more not doubt those messages. You will see that they come on wings of truth. And it's just up to you to listen. And then fulfilling your obligations becomes much easier, because as you nurture yourself, you fill yourself with this beautiful divine energy, which energizes you. You have an overflow of love to give. And because as you nurture you nurture others. And then you naturally trust in all instances that goodness shall prevail no matter what. Now, speaking of which, regarding what is happening in the world these days, you can't control what the world does. That is clear. But what you can do is control your own energy and how you show up. And that's where your true power lies. This is not about trying to control the situation. This is about you maintaining a frequency throughout the awakening process. And this way, you can't be controlled. You can't be manipulated by the information, and that's the key. If you're choosing how you want to feel, how you want to act in the midst of anything, you are literally in the driver's seat. You cannot be controlled. So manipulation can only happen when you actually allow it to happen, when you're not consciously realizing that a game is being played, mind game. When people who want power over others engage with those people, they assume that you've forgotten that you can stand in your own power. And many people have forgotten that, but you don't need to forget that ever. So across the world, people are waking up to this truth. And it's actually happening paradoxically, as so much does, due to increased conflict. The conflict is bringing to light the actual opposites of the energies that we have at our disposal. Even if you are in conflict and not seeing the other side, you are still in an awakening process, because by taking a side against another side, you are amping up the energy, and it will put you in a certain state. And that state will come with a result that will impact you. And that result itself will bring you what you need to wake up. And for everyone, that process is different. For everyone, that process takes a certain amount of time. So it's never to judge. It's just to know that we are in it. It's so exciting in so many ways, because we've been waiting a long time for this moment, and now it's finally happening. And though it may not be apparent to many people because of the conflict itself, it is very, very important during these times to deal with whatever is showing up. Because whatever is coming up in your life at any moment, whether it's a challenge or a very harmonious moment, what's important is that you face it. It's in the present moment that we gain our power. It's only in that moment that we become empowered. So whatever is showing up, whatever is coming up in your life, in your present moment at any given time, it will keep you empowered. It will keep you present. And if you're present, you are heart-centered. Being present and being heart-centered are the same thing. So whatever shows up for you is literally meant to bring you into the moment. And that's why it's so intense right now. When things are just flowing, which is beautiful, and we love that, we sometimes can forget to be present. When things are intense, we literally have to pay attention. And so being in that present moment, a full attention of 20/20 vision, seeing clearly, means our heart is engaged. So if you can just remember that being heart-centered and being present are the same thing. And you don't have to go look and read up on and watch about what you can do to be heart-centered or be present, because they are the same thing. It just literally means whatever shows up, to face that challenge or face that harmonious moment. And in being present, that's where your power is. Now we dive into this amazing awakening on Earth in a free masterclass I've created at spiritualmasteryclass.com. Again, it's free. It's amazing. You get so many lovely tips, the secrets to spiritual mastery, the true meaning of your rising sign, meaning your ascendant, the important difference between uniqueness and individuality, and your natal sun and moon's real profound impact on living a life of abundance and happiness, and how to instantly connect with spirit, and many more secret tools. It's a really fun masterclass. It's free, and you can watch it at spiritualmasteryclass.com. So I want to leave you with that, and I want to wish you a beautiful Christmas if you celebrate, a wonderful New Year, which of course we all celebrate. And I just want you to know that this year that's coming up in 2024 is absolutely extraordinary. There's a lot of good news, and there's a lot of intensity that's truly going to emerge. And so being in that heart-centered place, being in the place of trust, and being in a place of having faith in your abilities and knowing that you are in charge at any given moment, nobody can take that away from you. That is going to be the key to having a remarkable year. So sending you lots of love, and I will see you next week in our next Star Codes forecast, which will be on the Capricorn new moon. Lots of love.